Today is all about a new camera I got and why this camera is so interesting for all of you. This is not just to show off, maybe a little bit, but I got these professional cameras here. I got the Sony Burano, I got my FX3, and this is my work life. And then there's my hobby. And that's so dear to my heart because I love to take analog pictures and then I scan them, develop them, print them out and put them in a photo book. Now I've got myself a camera that kind of manages to perfectly blend my professional world and my hobby into one camera body, and this is kind of doing it all. I'm shooting on it right now, hence why you can't see it in frame. But that's to prove another point. I will switch to the Sony Burano right now, and that way you can make up your own mind if you think the image quality coming out of the A7C II is good enough for professional use when you compare it directly to a $30,000 cinema camera. There we go. And if you can see a big quality difference right here, I think you might be on your own. At least I can't see it. And that is on the one hand shocking, on the other hand amazing, because for someone like me who bought a Sony Burano, there comes the question on why do I even spend so much money on something like this? I have the answer on why I spent so much on this. You can check out my Burano video right here where I go much deeper into that. Let's get rid of all that and just focus on why I love this thing so much. Well, that did not work out as planned. I was trying to set up the frame so it matches, and apparently it goes darker when the sun goes down in the evening. So that is what's happening. The background just completely changed, and yeah, now it's different. I can see the difference myself. And yeah, without that amazing effect, back to the topic. The A7C II is actually just a rehoused Sony A7 Mark IV, with the one exception of the new processor, and you can really notice that on the autofocus performance when it comes to birds or animals or whatever. The autofocus is noticeably better on this camera, but the rest, the image quality, the sensor size and everything is the same. It got the 33 megapixel sensor, it got 4K, 422, 10-bit with S-Log3 recording. You do not get the Cine I mode, that's only on the Cine bodies, but you get the flexible ISO, and with that you can just stick to your 800 or whatever you like, but I mostly stick to my 800 because the low light capability of course is not as good as on the A7S or the FX3 because of the different sensor, but that's the main reason why I got this. And I don't want more megapixel because I don't want to store such big images, so I am very pleased with the A7C II over the A7CR. I love the sensor of this camera and the video capabilities are just amazing. And this is a second camera body or even third camera body is a wise investment if you can get it out to rent. And being able to take your press pictures or just pictures in general on your shoots on this camera is amazing, and that's a way to make a little bit of money. And if you use it as a second or third body on a shoot, then you can rent it out for normal rates and it will bring the money back very soon. The cool thing about the A7C II is it's the most hybrid camera Sony makes together with the A7 Mark IV, because you got amazing pictures as well as video. With the other bodies, you're always stuck to kind of video or photo, and this is the best of both worlds. It has, of course, its limitations, but if you not use it as your main camera, I think for me these limitations are not a problem, and with the photo side being more a hobby of mine, that becomes even easier to just stay away from the high megapixel count and everything like that. If you're doing some videos of your traveling, or if you have a YouTube channel like I do, this is also very amazing, and that's another big reason for me buying this. I've got the 40mm G2.5 lens on here, and I chose this because it's small and I got it in a good price with the camera as a kit. And this is just, I love the lens. I love the focal length because I mostly shoot 50 or 28 on my analog pictures, but this being in the middle is kind of amazing, and I'm not planning on buying any different lenses for this. Of course I can use all my G Master glass on here, but to be honest, that's just not I don't want to put this on here. When it comes to the photo side, for me, I mostly rely on the JPEGs, and that's just because I want to take some snapshots and I don't want to edit every picture I take. I just use the creative looks to get my JPEGs to where I want them and play a lot with the white balance. And that's a good way to find your own style with it. If you only want to shoot JPEGs and if you only want to take pictures, go with Fuji. You can't go wrong here. Go Fuji. It's the most amazing JPEG camera there is. I've got many Fuji cameras, starting with the X-T1, X-T2, and I was working my way up through the Fuji lineup, but eventually I had to give it up, kind of, because I needed to have some film cameras, and this just fits my workflow better and just fits in my life better. But if you only take JPEGs with your camera, go Fuji. And I need to make this a little bit more usable for me because I got big hands and I don't like my pinky hanging off here, and I like the small body, but it's a little bit too small. So I got the SmallRig base plate, and that is even amazing if you want to put it on your gimbal or easily put it on your tripod. You just got it on there and your pinky has somewhere to go. As well as this thumb grip, also from SmallRig, because I like the design. There are many different other options you can go for, and then your thumb has somewhere to go, as well as this nice little bit customized Hayogi lens hood on there. Just gives it this vintage nostalgic look, and I saw it in another YouTube video that you can sand this down, and just, yeah, I love the look of this. And so that's how I customize this camera for my liking, as well, of course, with a nice strap on there. And that's all about looks, and the looks are just important that you want to use this. If you need a hybrid camera, there's nothing much better out there than this. You have the limitation of not being able to shoot slow motion. You can do it, you can do 50 frames, but with a crop, and for me that's not really usable. I will use my FX3 if I need to shoot any slow motion. But on a gimbal for talking heads or whatever, or interview as a third cam, this is not a problem. And for YouTube, it's easy for you to get around this. If you're not on a big high budget documentary or film, you can just use the crop. The image is still amazing because of the sensor size. You still get the full 4K out of the image crop. My biggest complaint just might be the shutter sound it makes. It's just like, it's not sounding nice. I want that. That's an amazing shutter sound. That's kind of my biggest complaint. So you can see where I'm going here. I'm quite liking this. The other thing would be the card slot. Not having two cards is not that big of a deal for me, but not being able to use my CF Type A cards that I use in my FX3 is quite a bummer, because I like these cards. They're so well built and never failed on me. But using these SD cards, I don't like this very much. But yeah, that's not that big of a deal if you're a little bit careful with your cards. Other than that, it's just an amazing camera for your day-to-day life and for eventually YouTube if you want to start this endeavor like I did. And I will shoot mostly with this in the future just because it's much easier for me. If you want any more information on this camera, just write it in the comments down below. I try to answer them all. If you enjoyed the video, maybe leave a like or even subscribe to my channel, and goodbye. See you next time.